and 4 pretty good years. And in 2022, I realized that I was bad at CMAs. I was like, my gosh. And the thing is, it wasn't for lack of trying. I put in a lot of effort to learn them. And so then I joined a team and I talked to the team leader, who was a friend of mine, and said, basically, I want to get better at listings, everything to do with listings, and particularly CMAs, because I am so bad at predicting what a house will close for. And so I spent 2 years on that team, and I realized everyone's bad at CMAs. Everyone in this industry is bad at CMAs. Nobody's good at them. So if they seem overwhelming or confusing, yeah, this is an impossibly deep topic that I do not think any realtor has mastered yet. So please be the first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the basic process of understanding CMAs here, but please understand that this iceberg goes incredibly deep into the water. Cool. So, hold on, I'm going to jot down a couple notes. Tell me what you know about CMAs. Tell me everything you know. That was completely unfair. I'm just trying to have you take up time while I jot a note down.
Variables, I know how to.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I really, really want to know, like, the breakdown of, like, a room is so much and the bathroom is so much.
Yes, okay. That is kind of CMA 102, but we will touch on that. Okay, so I think the first thing to realize about CMAs is, why are you doing the CMA? Because the purpose of the CMA has a fair amount of influence over what you're doing. Generally speaking, a CMA is going to be filling one of 2 needs. Either you are presenting it to a seller or potential seller, or you're presenting it to a buyer who is looking at a house that they want to offer on. If you're presenting it to a buyer, you actually have more information on it because you probably have an active MLS listing to reference. With the seller, you're working with less information and you have to kind of pull a price out of thin air. CMAs, I'm not aware of any agent who can accurately predict what a house is going to close for. So CMAs are not there to say, what is this house worth? They are there to give you a little field that you're shooting into and to present to the seller, sort of set their expectations. I don't suggest you lead your listing appointments with this script, but that's like a CMA is to give you the idea. And so the process of that is what you've talked about. A couple vocabulary words that'll make you get along better with your lender are, whenever we're talking about CMAs, first of all, CMA itself, do you know what it stands for? Exactly. Okay. Then the other 2 vocab words, 2, 3, the subject. We are talking about the house that you are performing the CMA on, that we're trying to price for. And then a comp or comparable is a different house that has similar attributes that will give us clues as to what the subject is worth. And then the last vocab word is adjustment, which is, it's somewhat rare to find a comp that is a perfect match for the house. So you're going to have to make adjustments to squish it in. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the process. In 10 minutes, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to do a CMA at the level of most realtors. Hooray. And then we are going to do one. I promise we're going to get into actual practice, but I think understanding this outline will get us far, because you're going to see there are a million little side roads that you get clocked on in CMAs, and they're just, sure, but not right now.
When it's
Okay. Okay. So the first step, we want to get accurate data on the subject itself. How do we do that? That's it. So basically, there are two sources of information that I think are worth trusting. The county. So, okay, the county will show you information that was accurate at some point in time for sure. The MLS will show you information that was probably accurate at the time it was listed. They both have their weaknesses. If it's an older house, there's a good chance there have been upgrades or damage. And then on the MLS, realtors are idiots. I don't know how else to put it. MLS data gets input wrong all the time. So the first we need to get the subject data, and then what we're going to look at is we're looking at one where it's, well, no, forget I started that sentence. We're going to look at recently sold. Okay, let's dive into a principle on recently sold. Sorry, I'm sorting this out in my brain through my own process with myself. Okay, I went to a class with an appraiser who basically talked about the important things an appraiser looks at when they are doing appraisal. Appraisals are not the same thing as CMAs, and they do not have the same objectives. So take it with a grain of salt, but these are things that I found to be true. Number one thing that we're looking at is date of, inspecting here is what makes a house a good comp for the subject property. And so the first thing is date of sale. If you find a sale that is more than a year old, it is completely irrelevant. Sometimes not if you're in a lot of trouble. But like you want date of sale to be ideally within the last 30 days. And then you can go out to 60 and then you can go out to 90. I will show you how to do that. The other concept that I'm going to hint at here is that real estate has two selling seasons. There's it's hot outside and it is cold outside. And houses do not sell in the same way when it is hot outside and when it is cold outside. And so if you are, like if it's October, then you have to look at sales from September. You don't have a choice about that. If it's February and you're looking at a sale from September, avoid that because those houses did not behave in the same way. Okay, next one is location. A house in downtown Salt Lake City is not in any way comparable to one in Payson. I hope that is self-explanatory.
How far out do it go? So I could find a house like exactly the same, but it's like.
So appraisers will try to stick within a quarter mile if they can. Yeah, if they go out to a mile, they start getting real nervous. But they try to stick to a quarter mile, and that's when you're fighting appraisers. Oh, that's another purpose of CMA is when you're fighting the appraiser. But their behaviors do not match our behaviors for a couple reasons. An appraiser is looking at what if the buyer defaults on their loan, what could we get for this house if we put it back on the market? Appraisers tend to be very conservative. We are trying to look at the house through the eyes of a buyer. Because for example, appraisers care a lot about not comparing a two-story to a rambler. And so when I went to that appraisal class, I was like, oh, I better not do this. Buyers do not care. Most buyer profiles are looking at two stories and ramblers. They are competing with each other, even if the appraisers aren't allowed to acknowledge that. And I respect appraisers and what they do, but what we are doing is not the same thing. Does that make sense? Yeah.
They hear two stories, they just think
and functionally, those are very similar houses from their point of view. Like I'm sympathetic to those buyers because in most cases, if you're okay with stairs, then you're okay with stairs. You know. However, the floor plan is important, and when I say floor plan, I'm talking number of bedroom bathrooms. How deep do we go on this? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to give you some categories. And forgive me, as I said, this iceberg goes real deep. I'm trying to simplify immensely complicated topics. Okay. Generally speaking, floor plans can be cut into a couple categories. There's one bedroom places, there's two bedroom places, There's 3-bedroom places, and there's a subcategory of 3 with 2 bathrooms and 3 with 1 bathroom. This one's easy to rent. This one is not. And then you have 4 to 5, and then you have more. The reason for this is, again, we're looking at buyer profiles, the sort of buyers who are looking at things. The sort of buyer who's looking for 4 bedrooms will never consider a 1 or 2 bedroom. Maybe they would look at a 3 if they're desperate, right? Does that make sense? And so if we're comparing 4 to 5 bedroom to bedroom, we have lost the plot. Yeah, no, I'm going to leave that there. Most buyer profiles care about a garage and yard size. And oh, the age of the house. Age should probably be right here. These are all okay. Sorry, I worry that I have presented this as an ordered list, and that's not what I. This is the most important thing. Date of sale is the most important thing. Everything else is sort of fighting for what's the most important. Age of the house, garage yard, and then yes, no. Most buyers would rather not have an HOA. And so comparing have an HOA to not have an HOA is dangerous. Okay. That was a messy list because I just intended you to write it down. Is that okay? Any questions on this or something you think I've missed? Perfect. Cam, I need to enslave you. No, never mind. It's already full of water. I was going to have you fill my water bottle, but it's already full. Okay. Then the last thing we're going to look at here is going to be active competition. So the question we're asking with recently sold is, how did houses like the subject, I'm not going to write the whole thing, subject do? Like, how did they perform on the market? What data do we know about houses that are similar to subject? Here's, if we go to market at this price, who else is the buyer looking at? So to be obtuse about it, if you have a condo listed right next to another condo, they've listed for 375, you've listed for 450, and everything, the condos have an identical floor plan, identical age, and are in roughly the same condition. The buyer is going to look at both of them, and they're going to buy the cheaper one every time. That's a blunt example, except that literally happens also. So we need to know, who are we competing against, and what have people like us already done in the market? Okay, we all go with those concepts? Okay. Do you have any questions about the theory before we jump in and do a CMA? Okay. If your CMA is hard, I'm not going to do it. So if you're asking me because you couldn't find any comps, that's not what I'm going to do with a beginner class. Okay, we'll take a look. Have you tried to do the CMA yourself yet? Interesting. All right, we'll see. Sorry about him, everyone. Okay, let's see how crazy this drives me.
It's listed for 7.
Oh, if it's already listed, I'm not going to do it. That's not what we're doing right now. There you go. Yeah, for the way you behave with ones that are already listed is different. And for this one, we're doing for the purpose of for a seller. If we have extra time, I'll have a look at it because I like doing ones for already listed properties.
Yeah, I'd like to see your thought process.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not trying to bully you. I actually love you. All right, let's see how this goes.
Have a hard one.
No, what's wrong with you people? I just want to give the people of Rise a win. Does one of you want to know what your house is worth?
Sure.
Okay.
on the market for almost 10 years. It would be fun.
I want this to be a lesson though, in that we've just had two people ask us to do CMAs. If you get good at CMAs, you're going to be the office CMA person. I learned this lesson the hard way. Um,
Then you were or
so I started a CMA club and I'm going to probably get back to it. I've been privately doing it with myself. I want to theoretically be smart enough that I can say, look at a house that just came on the market and say, this will close within 5%, 3% of this price. I don't think there's a human alive or a computer alive that can do that right now. And I want to be the first.
everybody needs goals.
Yeah. The problem is, and an inherent problem with CMAs is I put up there, what, 7 variables? And there's actually probably hundreds of millions of variables. There's stuff like smell.
That's true.
Yeah.
Can't put a price on that, especially across a TV screen, computer screen.
Right. And so I'll show you my ways of trying to approximate. And from our perspective, we're doing this for a seller. We're trying to take a house we don't know any value for, and we're going to try and get a value for it, because that is the harder type of CMA, in my opinion. Cam, what makes yours hard? Oh, I've never been there.
Right. Where's that at? Oh, okay.
Heck yeah.
I say 5, that's very tough. I say my Eagle Mountain is kind of by up there. So that's Eagle Mountain kind of close to West Valley.
Why didn't you just say like?
Okay. Where is, or what's your address?
It is 3993 East. SIOUX.
What was I doing? Oh, we're gonna ignore status. And then Sioux, the Native American tribe Sioux.
Yeah, well, most people don't know that name.
I'm a genius though. What city are we in?
Eagle Mountain.
Okay. So this always impresses people when I do this, when they're like, hey, will you help me sell my house? I say, okay, did you buy it in 2017 for 240? Good work. Good work.
Now, the crazy thing is, when we put our offer in, it was Valentine's Day.
Mhm.
It went on the market and we saw it at 5, put the offer in at 7 while we were at dinner,
Uh-huh.
and they accepted it 10 a.m. the next day. There was 3 other offers on the table, and they had 4 other offers come in within 24 hours of them accepting our offer.
Nice. Yeah,
It was that crazy time.
that's 2017. Yeah, I lived it.
So have you already picked one, or I could give you?
No, we're doing it.
Okay.
Becca, I have a laptop. Or do you have MLS access and do you want to follow along? I don't care what you do. You're your own human.
She does not have.
Okay.
Join me. Come sit right here.
Well, I'm watching kids.
Okay, that works.
Okay. Oh, Utah housing too. Nice work.
I just got MLS access today here.
Congrats. Okay. So what I'm going to do is real quick, we're going to pretend that this was not on the MLS. And so a boomer called you.
Find this.
I went to oh yeah, sorry. We're going to start all the way over. Okay. When you log in the MLS, you're looking at this page. I apologize. I do things on autopilot without realizing it. So you go to search and all we need is the address, and you go address. What these different search categories are is what it sounds like. It gives you every possible thing you can discriminate for. This is usually what I use when I'm doing like research or market data or whatever. But if you know, for example, that you're going to have an address, you come here and it's going to just trim out the categories you don't need. Just makes it easier to use. Okay, it kept the address in here. So we did that. I do tend to get house number and city is usually enough to get it, but the street name, especially when it's a cool street name. Okay,
For some reason, mine will not.
I'm sorry. Are you still with me? I kept going too
Well,
fast.
this is weird, because I go to search
I hit address,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just says no.
You need to select your membership.
Select my membership.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you need to
Oh.
do, yeah. I haven't done that for 10 years, so
No,
you're
you
on your own.
Wait, so I put it all in and I still have no.
Oh, because you have status active. My gosh, I betrayed you.
Okay.
Yeah. So these, you know what these mean? Active, under contract, sold.
Yeah, which
Okay.
one are we on?
This one I did none of them because I didn't know what the state of the house was going to be. Sold is usually a safe bet for someone calling you, but I just leave that blank. And then if this number had been like 26 or whatever, then I'd probably change it to sold to narrow it. Okay. So anybody, are you looking at 6 results?
Yeah, 6 results. And
Okay.
it-
I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting your name. I abuse you verbally. Okay.
You're fine. Yeah.
You with me, Andrew?
I'm paying for the membership, but you're good. You should go out
Okay.
call.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've had my license in Georgia for
Oh, nice.
last
I want to know how their MLS compares to ours. So after you've spent a couple weeks in it, I want to know what other MLSs are like.
Okay.
Because I suspect ours is amazing, but I can't prove it.
I've seen way better, like night and day better. Utah.
You with me?
Hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna hit view results, and that's gonna bring every property it found. I think it's gonna be 6 instances of your property.
no, yeah, no.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're gonna go to the most recent sale because that's theoretically gonna be the most recent data.
But
And so by clicking on the MLS number, we're gonna bring this up here. You with me? Okay. But for our purposes, I want to pretend that we were unable to find it because I want you to know how to do this. Right. And so Eagle Mountain's in Utah County. You just have to know that. I guess you can Google it. I'm sorry. But if you go Utah County Assessor, this will work for every county in the state of Utah that I've checked it with. And you'll sometimes have to click around. You're looking for some kind of property search.
whoa, slow down.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so Utah County Assessor, click on that gray
Yeah.
screen.
And we're looking for a subcategory. Oh, here we go. Real property address search form. And this, I did know the website was utahcounty.gov, but I don't expect you to know that. And I don't know it for every county. So real property address search form. There's not like a set answer to this. You're typing in blank county assessor and you're clicking around until you find a property search. I don't know if it's federal law or state law, but like all of the information has to be with the assessor and it is public. So, okay. So we weren't able to find it. So we type in 3993 and then we know it's on Sioux Street. Ah! And we know it's in Eagle Mountain. I'm not necessarily slowing down on this because you're just going to have to navigate the various county websites if you need to. Okay, so this is the person I talked to on the phone is indeed Michelle Reed, so I know I have the right property. So we click on the serial number, and here it's going to give, on the Utah County website, the way this works is you go here to additional information and you do appraisal information. Boop. What I like to do with these, this is a bonus, is I like to print this page out or this page out and bring it with me to the listing appointment. And as I walk through the house, I will make notes about what has changed about the property. This also lets you confirm things. So you can be like, okay, can I convert, this is 4 beds, 3 baths, and stuff like that. And it's just it's something I like to do because then you have the information that you already know and you can compare it against what the seller knows, because the seller, of course, is going to have superior information to both county and MLS. Okay, so we have our house and we have it on the MLS here. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to find comps. So the MLS has a thing where it's some kind of caching issue where if I just duplicate this tab the normal way, it's going to have a schizophrenic episode. So instead, they gave us this button, new tab, which ritually cleanses the information or whatever. It works better this way. Okay. So now for recently sold, we are going to do a full search. We're clearing criteria to start with a blank slate. You with me? Okay. Whoa, why did it change? Did I zoom in?
And I have,
Would it take a crazy amount of time to get me caught up, or would it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna do, do you mind if I just
No,
pilot
no,
for a second?
yeah, you
Okay.
can just like drive through it and
So
just double check.
I'm gonna clear. We're gonna
Okay.
go to 3993 Sue, and I'm sure that'll do it.
How does that work when it's like 1162 north, like 10?
Yeah, you just put in the number
The,
in
the
the second
N on
one.
the
Yeah,
other side?
you'll
the
see
number
it
and the N?
has the street name. It has includes, excludes, starts with. And
So,
so
so you would put north just on the where you put Sioux.
I just wouldn't put the direction. I just
Oh, you
put the
just put
number and the number.
1152?
Yeah, and that usually narrows it enough that I can just eyeball it.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, and then we're gonna click on this fella, and then we're gonna open a new tab, and then we're going to go search full, and now you are caught up.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Okay, so we are looking for recently sold, so we're gonna go to status, and we're gonna change it to sold. I'm gonna really quick tell you what these stati mean, stata. Active on the market right now, looking for offers. Under contract, has an accepted offer, is not implicitly looking for another one. Active no-show means it's active, but for whatever reason, they're not allowing showings right now. Canceled. What is the difference between canceled and withdrawn?
I still have an active list.
Okay. So yeah, canceled is the seller.
So expired means
Makes sense,
that
question mark,
it went past the date of the agreement.
Oh,
Canceled means it went past the date of the agreement. Canceled means it was canceled before that.
I want to scroll this. Oh, there we go. Hey, active TC is gone. That's funny. Okay, so backup is under contract, but they're still looking for offers and their days on market is still ticking. That doesn't matter for our purposes, but it is important when you're doing market analysis, like market data, I mean. Okay, and then withdrawn, valid listing agreement in effect, listing agreement has been terminated, expired is listing agreement reached its conclusion. Okay, cool, cool. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to sold. It is June, so I am willing to trust information all the way back to March. So we are, sorry. Did you notice when I clicked sold, it jumped down? That's actually irrelevant. So we're gonna do it again.
just,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I selected sold and it jumped the screen down. That's a feature. That's it trying to help you because it's saying sold since when? And by default, it puts a year in here. I like to use the number of days back so I don't have to do any kind of math. And we're going to set it to 90.
So when I select sold, it toggles it.
oh, you gotta take it off this.
Yeah.
thing.
You just go
Yeah,
like
just
that.
click off it.
But it's supposed to jump down here.
Oh, I don't know
Oh,
why
there
it
we go.
didn't. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't. But anyway, you can scroll down too.
Okay, no
So
worries.
scroll down to right here.
Yes.
Okay. So we've locked in the date of sale. The next thing I will plug in, because we currently have 10,000 hits. Yeah, the,
The number in it, you gotta click to the side and then it actually applies.
Okay, yeah. Great.
no, you're good, you're good. Are you good?
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
we're good.
I got
We're,
you.
we're
Okay.
at 90.
I'm just watching you back.
No,
Of course, yeah.
Great.
Okay, so this red number here is how many listings currently match your criteria. So across the entire MLS, we've had 10,070 sales in the last 90 days. You with me on that? We never,
Wow.
well, I don't want to say never. With CMA, anytime someone says always or never, they haven't done enough CMAs to realize every rule breaks with CMAs, including this one.
Mine
Uh,
doesn't show any matches for some reason. Yeah, mine's just all weird, huh? Have the 90 days.
Hey, when something
happened.
funky happens, just go to clear criteria and start over.
Clear criteria. Okay, boom. Sold. Come off.
And then number of days back.
90 days. And just click off. Boom.
There you
Okay.
go. Okay. Okay, so the next time I'm gonna plug in the floor plans, I want to get that number way down. And this is not an ordered list here. This is the order I do it in though. So we're gonna go here. Okay, so you come down to this
Are we-
grid.
About what's have you been?
We are, but not just quite
yet.
yet. The reason for that is depending on where it is, like with Eagle Mountain, as you well know, there's kind of two Eagle Mountains, there's city center and the ranches. And so this is one where I wouldn't put in city. I might put in the zip code, although to be honest, I am not familiar with the zip code boundaries in Eagle Mountain. So this is where I would do a radius search, which I'll show you how to do in a second.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all one zip?
Yeah. We used to have, we typed them.
What a benighted place, Eagle Mountain,
No.
full of orcs and goblins.
Mile and a half from me, they sold a crap ton of land to Saratoga to pay for roads. So a mile and a half from me is Saratoga. Just
Yeah.
this random thumbprint of Saratoga, just whoop.
So location is going to be this whole sub thing we're going to get to in a second. Okay, so with this grid, I want you to pay attention to what you're looking at here. This is checking like what floor something is on. The main time this will come up is if you have someone who wants a master bedroom on the main floor, in which case you would want to make sure there is,
A bedroom.
yeah, at least one bedroom here. Do you see how this is bedrooms blank to blank?
Yeah.
Okay. But that is not what we're looking for in this case. So here we have the total, which is what we're most interested in, and our subject property has 4 bedrooms, which puts it in that 4 to 5 range. I'm of the opinion that 4-bedroom and 5-bedroom houses are almost always competing with each other. So we'll put 4 minimum, 5 maximum. Are you with me? Okay. And does your red number now say 4,390?
No, mine says 52.
Mine
You
says
have a pretty
4390.
What?
Did you put Eagle Mountain in already?
I didn't either. But mine does say 4390.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Uh,
It did this to me last time. All right, I'll start over. It's fine. You keep going.
yeah, just clear your criteria and do it again.
Back in.
Yeah, but if you were just doing this real time, you would have no idea that was wrong.
I know, that's the
Oh,
part
no,
about
oh,
these.
you dummy face.
What was it?
I don't know. I cleared the criteria. I put in sold and it automatically jumped down to the right number.
Maybe you
That is odd. Oh, also the MLS is sometimes just weird.
You don't even have anything in the bedroom.
So we're gonna need number of bathrooms. I think we'll leave it blank. Well, let's see how many you have. 3 is a very normal number to have. I mean, we don't want any like 1 bathrooms show up. We'll do it. We'll do it. So 5 bed. Let's just check for 3 bathrooms. We still have loads of space here. Okay. So there's a difference here. This is checking for full baths, half baths, and 3/4 baths. For the purposes of CMA, when we have a high number here, I guess, we'll just stick the number in here. Yeah, and with bathrooms, I would say try to match the subject property exactly if you can. Unless it's a silly number like 6 or something.
Why is it better to do the total bathrooms as opposed to next to the bedroom thing, full bath, half bath?
Yes, and my logic for that is we're about to put in some other criteria that I expect to dramatically drop our numbers. And generally speaking, if you have 3 bathrooms, at least one of them's a full. And after that, most buyer profiles don't care. I guess with 5 beds, they probably want 2 fulls, but most 5 beds will have 2 fulls. Although you're a 4 bed, not a 5. But you have 2 fulls. So there's going to be like a fail-safe step here when we're going through the comps, and we'll start noticing like, wait, this one only has half baths. And that's weird. That's not a normal thing to check for, but so you can manually remove it from the list, which I'll show you how to do. So generally with bathrooms, I don't get to this level of granularity unless I've plugged in all my criteria and I have like a stupid number of matches still. Okay, but are we all at our 4 to 5 beds, 3 baths?
Yep.
Are you all okay on time?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Figure it out in an hour.
Okay, cool. So the next thing is garage and yard. Oh wait, and you don't have an HOA, right? So
No,
argue,
They took my money and then dissolved it a month after we moved in and kept my money.
heck yeah, girl.
Maybe so mad.
That's in the business, we call that being an Eagle Mountain HOA.
Yeah.
Okay, I probably should have done this step earlier, but we are going to put in right at the top, the property type, we're going to do single family because we are not.
Dealing with townhouses.
Yeah, we are competing with townhouses, but for our purposes, we're going to leave this at single family. You can fiddle with this more than you think, though. Like if you're having trouble finding matches, looking at townhouses is generally okay. But then you're going to need to look at each one because does it have a yard? Like what kind of townhouse are we talking about? Because you are not, well, yeah, I mean, you are competing with townhouses, but this will make sure the houses we look at have more in common than townhouses would. And we still have a stupid high number. Pretty much everything on this list is negotiable if you're having trouble finding matches, and that's where this becomes more art than science. Okay, then we're going to go to garage. You have a 2-car garage, it looks like. Oh, sorry. I also haven't memorized the order everything here is in. So I do Control F, or if I'm on Satan's computer, Command F, and just type in the word what you're looking for.
2 to 2.
Yeah. So we're just going to compare. 2-car garages are kind of competing with 3-car garages. They're not really competing with 1-car garages. But again, everything's negotiable. Okay, and then your lot size is 0.14. So for the lot, if it's a townhouse, it's going to be a very small number, like 0.01 or whatever. And so those are competing with each other. When you have more than like 0.1 of an acre, I believe they compete sort of within 0.05 acres. So for your 0.14, we're going to put 0.1 as a minimum, and we're going to check all the way up to 0.19 for competitors. Or sorry, for similar properties. Okay.
Could you repeat just your thought process on that again? You said hers is
It's 0.14.
hers is 0.14, and so you're saying within
Yeah.
0.5?
So, and this is a rule I completely made up myself.
Okay.
If you have 0.1 acres or more, you have a yard. If
Right.
you have less than 0.1, you have a postage stamp. And so and I think the number might be like 0.75 acres or whatever, but frankly, I haven't seen a property with that acreage. And so with like townhouses or
It's for
whatever,
like a quarter acre or, well, no,
No,
a lot or
not
less.
even that.
this is normal sauce.
Yeah.
This is a very
Okay.
normal yard. Yeah. 0.25 is that's
It's
a
a
good
good
yard.
size.
Like that's probably you're looking at a corner lot. You're not looking at like farmland yet, but like it's a bigger lot. 0.3 is when you're going to walk in the yard and go, oh my gosh, this is
Like,
big. And then anything above 0.3, you're starting to look at like, are they growing corn or? But yeah, 0.15 is like the average yard in Utah or in suburban Utah.
I'm used to Georgia. We're like on an acre. Right now my parents are on 5 acres. Like,
Oh,
That's sick.
I
That's
grew
cool.
up on a half acre and I moved off and I was like,
I grew up on 10 acres.
whoa.
So with acreage, with the subject property, basically for the minimum, I'm subtracting 0.05 for the or in this case, I did 0.1 as a minimum, but there's no
Yeah,
reason
just
here.
subtract 0.4. Just because you
There
didn't
we
want to go under 0.1 or
Because we're throwing a net.
Exactly.
yeah.
And then for maximum, I go to plus 0.05. And then if it's a townhouse, leave this blank.
Oh, okay.
Or like put a maximum of like 0.05, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so we've locked in, and then age of the house. This one I do have hard rules about. I got this from an appraiser, and I think they're good rules. So you were built in 2003. You go -5 years and +5 years with one exception. Okay, so we were built in 2003, so we go from 1998 to 2008. Something that took me too many CMAs to realize, so I'm going to teach you my little hack right now, even though you probably did in your head. this number is always 10 more than this number.
Right.
Yay! Don't worry about how long it took me to go, oh wait, they always have the same last digit. Because I'm an idiot. I didn't get into real estate because I'm a genius, guys. Okay, there's one rule in here. 1978 is a hard break because that is when they stopped using lead paint in houses. And so a 1978 house is not really competing with 1979 house. And similarly, well, no, yeah, that's a rule. If you're built in anything within 5 years, 1978, that is a hard break on your check.
79.
Yeah, and so if we were built in 79, I would do 1978 here and then 1984 here.
Oh, so you can't include 78. So 77 is the last year.
Yeah, I think I actually Googled it once. It was like March of 78 that stopped doing it. So it might even be wiser to do
Might be better to go
1979 or
79 and
1976.
give up. Okay.
Depends, again, it depends what this red number is telling you.
Right.
If this is 0, you need to stop being so discriminatory. Okay, and then we did not put an HOA. So with HOA, we're gonna put no. We already should have nailed that with single family, but here we are.
I'm in one of the few neighborhoods that does not have an HOA in Eagle Mountain, all of Eagle Mountain. Go figure.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to not have any HOA.
Okay. Well, then something bad is about to happen, but that's good because it's the kind of bad that will educate us. We've been putting off location probably for too long. I probably would have checked location after plugging in floor plan, garage, and yard, but it turns out I have trouble simulating my natural behaviors when I'm teaching. So we're gonna go to view map. Not yet, but we'll come to that. So are we all looking at our map?
Yes.
Okay, you can click radius tool.
Radius.
Because we're in Eagle Mountain, I'm going to skip the 1/4 mile increment and go 1/2 mile. We could put the address in here. For example, if we got it off the county records or the MLS number, since we do have an MLS number for this. Okay. And we actually have 5 hits. So we actually have a pretty good range here.
Did you keep it at 0.25?
No, I went 1/2.
Oh, you want to check half?
Yeah. Because Eagle Mountain is just more spread out.
Right. It's that criteria.
Okay. I want to pretend a couple things happened here. First, if we pretend there was like less than 3 here, 1 or 2, that's not enough data to do a good CMA.
Okay.
And so that means we need to go back here, loosen up these restrictions, or expand our radius out. If your radius is going more than 1 mile, slow down. That's not the end of the world, but that's you're getting in dangerous territory. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. The other thing is, let's imagine we put in the circle and we had like 100 hits. That if you've like, how do I put this? Yeah, well, no, yeah. We want to narrow that down to a manageable amount because you, a human, are doing this analysis, not a computer. If you did have a computer you could feed it into, then that's awesome. But you want to get this to somewhere between like 3 to 5, maybe 10. If it's more than 10, then be more discriminatory.
Yeah.
But we have 5.
We're right in the sweet spot.
Yeah. So do we understand basically what we've done so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, but why are we only doing just sold and not current on the market as well?
We'll come to that in a second. The competition report actually looks way different and is way easier. So it'll be like super easy mode after this. So, okay, we're going to go to view results and we're going to look at our 5 listings.
View results.
And you're going to click select all.
Select.
And at view reports, we're going to go to agent full report. Okay, now we're just going to look through these, and here is unfortunately where we need to make judgment calls. So we don't have current data for the condition of this house. When a seller gives me their address, I'll ask them if there have been any upgrades or damage since they moved in. But because these pictures are taken best case scenario 2017, these pictures are not relevant to this house anymore. Does that make sense? Also, these pictures suck. when you get the chance to walk through the house, you should make a note of like condition, like damage, upgrades, that sort of thing. Upgrades that actually change the numbers on here, then you just change the numbers, right? If they added, what would add the
Bedroom.
value? I mean, they're in a pretty good spot here, but if they added like 3 bedrooms for some reason, they would not get their money back, but then we'd be looking at the 6 or more bedrooms range. Kinda,
They added 1 bedroom, would it not make a difference that much?
not really, no.
Or 1 bathroom?
No, 4-3 is a sweet spot, and then the fourth bathroom doesn't mean much. The 5th bedroom, I mean, those both improve value, but not like they're moving into a different class of competition. To move this house into a different class of competition, I would do a complete reno and the effective year built to 2025. But this house is sitting in a good spot in terms of what it is as a house. And of course, complete reno, you probably wouldn't make your money back. I'm not telling you to do that. Perfect. That's the right attitude to take with anything I say. Okay, so we have 5 properties here. And we're gonna just see if there's anything weird. Oh, wait, there's one more principle I want to teach you. This comes from commercial real estate, and I think it is super useful. That is useful from commercial, but not what I'm talking about here. That I haven't even touched on assessing these as investment properties because that's its own animal. But if you know how to assess them as an investment property, it is actually a pretty good way to arrive at potential price. Okay, so I don't know why I'm writing this down. I'm literally going to write the first 4 letters of the alphabet. It's a good thing I got up to the board to write this. How would you remember? Okay, A is literally new build. As in, if it was built more than a year ago, by definition, it is not an A-class property. B is, it looks like it's a new build. It's been kept in really good condition, but it is not a new build. Yeah, right. Yeah. And so like, if you walk in and go, wait, is this new construction? You're sitting in a B property. And this is not science. This is your human brain classifying things. C is most properties, kept in okay condition, a little dinged up. They probably like scraped the wall somewhere. It does not appear to be new build, but you don't walk in and go, ugh. D is it's in trouble. Yeah, you walk in and go, ugh. To be frank, when you come into your house, I suspect, I hope, this might be me projecting, that you most of the time walk into your house as a D tier property. And then you do your spring cleaning, or you're going to have guests come stay over, and then you sort of bring it up to a C. The other thing you can do is, so I guess there's an A minus. You can have B plus and B minus, and C plus and C minus. I don't have hard rules for what these are, but it just helps me classify properties. And as you're going through the seller's property, it's useful to say, I'm walking through a C property. I'm walking through a B property. Because, say what? I would never tell them. Yeah. Okay, guys, we're looking at a C minus. Let's see if we, well, I would tell them, I really want to say it's an A property, but definitionally I can't. So it's a B plus, but I don't know. I would, the seller doesn't need that information. This is a crutch to help you shortcut and use your meat brain for things it was never meant to do. But what we're gonna do when we look at these properties, we're gonna look at the pictures and try to make an assessment on A, B, C, D. What do you need?
So we just went through and put a bunch of different criteria in, like
Okay.
2-car garage,
And then half
Did he
mile.
give
this
you the
amount of
map and
things.
all?
Yes, we went to the map.
Okay.
And then, let me see if I
Okay.
can do a new
That's
tab
okay, you
here.
guys, we can keep going. I need
Okay.
to learn the map. That's what I stuck up.
Yeah,
quarter mile.
we did a half mile on this one because it's Eagle Mountain.
Okay.
But yeah.
I'm really sorry for this next part, but I don't know what my brain does. but I will do my best to articulate where my eyes go and what I am thinking about.
Okay.
Something that stands out to me here, seller financing, uh, typically is going to have an upward pressure on price. Yeah, typically. This was on the market for 86 days. Oh, wait. I want to show you that button. This is one of the most powerful buttons on the MLS. Any listing, you can click on its history. And you
It
can
makes
see
sense.
everything that happened to the listing since it came to market and even previous times it's been on the market. And so we see they went active, on December 21st. Yikes. They took $900 off their list price on February 4th. And you can see this, right?
Yeah.
This is an immensely powerful button. The other button that we're not going to spend any time on today is the tax ID button. Will take you to what the MLS was able to figure out about its county records.
The history button you were talking about before?
Yeah.
Yeah. The tax ID number, it gives you an idea to show you who owns it, how long they've owned it, and give you clues to that sort of thing. We're not touching on that today, but it's a very powerful button. Okay. We know that all these are within a half mile. What we're going to do. Okay. This is me not knowing my own process. So seller financing probably had an upward pressure on the price here. And then the other thing is I want to check I always click on the map. And for an area like Eagle Mountain where you're going to know it way better than me. And so I may say something deeply ignorant here, but I'm reasonably comfortable with Eagle Mountain, right? We already know they're within a half mile, but it's sometimes nice to see that, for example, this property, I can't see the dang screen. It's not that close to this park.
How did you pull the map up?
Oh, yeah, I got you. So you click on the address.
Oh, you did the address.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. These are good questions.
So
That should be the first one on your list. What are we looking at?
Now, I'm actually like number 4 on my list and his list.
Oh, I know why that is. Let me show you why that is, just so you can know. When you go to view results, my list right now is sorted by date of sale. I believe by default, they're sorted by list price. Very importantly, this is list price, not sold price. You said it was 4th on your list? I think this is the default.
yeah, it was 4th on the list.
Okay, so we're gonna go back. I'm gonna change mine to be in the same order as yours.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, conventional loan, that's a very normal way to buy a house, probably did not have a meaningful effect on the price. They did not have any concessions. They sold for above list. Good job after 7 days.
It seems like it might have been priced. Oh, when was it sold?
90 days. All these are within 90 days.
This looks like it was a pocket deal. Okay, this is weird.
That is
I'm
weird.
inclined to think that
Well, it must
It
have been
was a
listed so
private-
low.
Yeah,
Yeah, it seems, yeah, 161st for, it was way low.
yeah, I think it was a pocket sale. Oh, bank owned.
Oh.
Okay,
Vacant.
so this is,
Our appraisal, right?
yeah, yeah. And we don't have any interior pictures.
No.
For the purposes of our CMA, I think we need to ignore this one.
Yeah.
Bank owned, we don't have good details. Also, you pointed out price per square foot. Let's talk about that for a second, because one thing you go like, oh, it's worth this price per square foot, therefore mine is worth X price per square foot.
Yeah, how do you
Bank on is
fly
really
back
low.
to the list so quickly like that?
Oh,
Oh,
wait, I understand the
We-
question.
to refine search.
There, oh, gross, go away. I hate it. All right, never mind.
yeah, that list where you were just at, that list
Yeah.
right here, you navigated to it so quickly. How did you?
Okay, so clicking on MLS number, we'll pull up the thing, and then clicking the X here, we'll go back to our list. It's a pop-up window.
Right.
Did that answer your question?
No.
Okay.
Because right now we're on this view where it's just like.
Oh, yeah,
like
I have
that.
2 tabs open.
You have 2 tabs. Oh, so you opened it
Yeah.
in a new tab.
Yeah,
So.
and when you open a new tab in the MLS, always use
oh,
this
yeah,
button.
always use that.
Be smarter than me.
Okay, so if I just open this one, if I just open this one in a new tab and I go here and I want to move this one back to that view where you had it, is there a way to do that?
No.
No, you'll have to go search the property address again, which is 3993 Sioux in Eagle Mountain.
Oh, like start from page 1? kind of type thing.
Wait, no, he has it right there.
Oh, no, yeah.
I do. Oh, is this it?
Yeah,
Oh.
X that out, there's your list.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. I almost gave you terrible advice. Well, I
That's
did give
fine.
you terrible advice.
Did the map to just do the minus.
Let's see here.
There's the criteria.
Yeah,
Okay.
not sure how to get back.
Okay.
To where we were
Yeah.
previously.
So I'm glad we came to this bank-owned weird house because I'm going to show you how to remove something from the list. Remove. Boom.
Easy.
Gone. Okay. Oh, price per square foot. So our, oh wait, no, that's, when you're setting the price per square foot is a good metric if you have a very good match on the property. The reason I say that, sorry, let me drink. I'm getting very emotional about price per square foot, guys.
I know, it's not a good term,
Well, I actually think,
but 160.
I think a lot of realtors are too scared of it because one, as you say, if price per square foot is a crazy number, that is waving a flag saying what is going on here. If you have an excellent match, then price per square foot is not a bad metric, but it is a terrible metric unless you have an excellent match, if that makes sense. Okay, this one is a split level, which is going to mess with a little bit because subject is a 2-story.
He actually put the MLS number. Is what
Oh,
he did.
instead of the X.
Yeah, and there's a way to just copy that, but
Okay, so the places I'm catching myself looking for bombs are, I do want to see how much money was conceded in the sale. I check what kind of sale it was. Cash sales and seller financing tend to drive prices up a little bit. No, sorry, cash drives price down. Seller financing drives it up.
lost it.
And then I like to look at the remarks, see if there's anything weird mentioned in the remarks.
Yeah,
Okay.
like that view that he had of the original property.
Do you need help?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, maybe
So
go
so I
back.
was trying to show her how to
Do the
how
map.
to do
Yeah.
the map thing,
Uh-huh.
and you just copied the MLS number really easily,
Uh-huh.
but I lost the actual main property.
Okay.
Like,
So go ahead and, yeah, open a new tab using the MLS
okay,
button.
this is the one.
Okay,
That has
So
the
3993, Sue, you got 6. Go hit view results,
view results.
and then bottom guy on the list, hit the MLS number.
This is the property.
That's our guy, yeah.
Okay.
And then
so
to
yeah,
copy
there we
that,
go.
you can
And
hit the
then-
copy
so-
icon.
Okay, now we got it.
You good?
Copy, boom, and we just paste that. Sorry, and set criteria.
You do not need to apologize. That's literally why we're here.
And how did you
And-
do it? Did you
oh.
do the mileage?
Yes, I think that I.
I need to be done at about 11.
So
Okay.
see how
Just a heads up
I
on that.
had 0.25 there. I actually had
Um,
0.5. So it's set criteria.
I
And then
like
that's what gives
this
us-
comp. I think this is a good comp.
Except this one I
Um,
didn't have the criteria put in, so there's nothing.
I do too.
And I would even say this is B minus condition.
Really?
There's a couple things that are making me say B minus, C plus. So, okay, they're good photos. It's obviously clean. There's no noticeable damage. This color is out of vogue. This light fixture is out of vogue.
The kitchen layout's kind of weird too. There's like barely.
I admit I don't hate that kitchen layout, but I do see what you mean. So I would put this in the B minus C plus range. And again, this is just a mental crutch to bookmark the condition of the property.
Yeah,
You don't
go
need to
through
get too obsessed with it.
Just they're colorful.
You might invent a 12-tier quality system that you're like, this is a 7, and that's fine. Whatever works for you. I kind of want to drop this to a C. Oops,
I was
what
gonna
did
say, I put this as a C.
Hey, how do I?
You just click.
Ah,
on
okay,
everything,
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm dropping this to a C.
But the pictures and stuff are similar to my house. Inside.
So it's a good
Awesome,
comparable.
okay. So when we walk through your house, we'll be like, oh, this really was a good comp. Okay, we're gonna leave it in the list. I am gonna speed up a little bit at the expense of quality because I want to make sure we are getting to competition report.
Perfect.
Okay, this is a short sale. Short sales have a chaotic effect on prices, generally downward. We see another 160 on the price per square foot compared to our 206. I want to cut this one. I want to cut this one. Short
Oh,
sales.
do you just hit remove up on that?
Yes.
X? Okay.
I mean, she looks okay.
I know, except for it's a short sale.
On market 22.
Like it's at 162.
Yeah, let's kill it. Let's kill it.
This is interesting.
Oh yeah, because this is, well,
That we have short sales and bank owned. Like that hasn't been around for a while.
yeah.
Depends
It's
on the
only
neighborhood.
starting to creep in.
Yeah, they're starting to come
Yeah,
back.
evidently it has, Katie. That was me being mean, not actually correcting you. I was just being a bully. I wasn't trying to be helpful.
You removed that one?
Yeah.
I did remove it. I was a
It's
little
a
hesitant because
short sale.
physically it was actually a pretty good comp,
Right.
but it was significantly larger.
But that's what, oh,
Um,
good, at least it's larger, because do
I
appraisers,
hate
if it
this
was the
flooring.
same size, would the appraiser just keep it? Hate flooring.
I actually don't know. I'm not sure on that one. I tell you what, if an appraiser sent in a report that was going to torpedo my deal and one
You
of them
would
was for
fight
sale, I would fight them saying this was a short sale, you idiot.
Yeah.
But that's just because I want to win the fight, not because I actually necessarily believe it's true. This is definitely a C.
You don't call them an idiot, right?
Not
To their face.
not to the communication they see. No.
The bonus room though, wait, you went too fast. Slow down, Phil.
Oh my.
I know a lot of people who'd walk in and walk right back out. What do you say to them?
Wait for feedback and then tell them what the people said.
Yeah. I admit I'm not as bothered by it, although the wood design is something. Seller financing has a slight upward effect. I think we're going to keep it because we are down to 3 comps and I want to get to our active competition. I don't love comparing it to a seller finance place, but we're going to.
So usually you would drop those in the bank ones
Yes.
if you have enough.
Yeah, and the other, like, I don't want to give any hard rules because there are some houses where you take what you can get. Oh, I also haven't checked the address on these last 2. Okay, that one looks comparable. Here, what we're looking for is, since we already have them in a tight geographic area, we're looking at, does this back into a golf course or something like that? That would obviously make it more attractive to buyers. Or is it like on a major highway? And this isn't really either. Like there'll be things that where you look at it and like, oh, I wouldn't want to live on Bangor Highway. That's impossible. I wouldn't want to live on Redwood Road. If there was a house on Bangor Highway, I would buy it just for the novelty. So yeah, it's Bangor Highway. Just jump out of your car moving at 60 miles an hour, grab the bar, climb into my house. Neither of these are backing into a
Hey, you live,
parking.
if these are close to your house, you live close to my old house. I'm pretty close to me now.
So I would actually nix this one, the one on the very bottom.
I agree. But tell me why you said it.
It's almost twice the size of my house.
I was gonna, we had the exact same reaction at pretty much the same time. I'm curious about the area anyway.
It's a very pretty house.
Yeah. The
So it's
other
like a B
thing,
minus.
That's a B minus.
the other thing that's waving a flag at you is even more than price per square foot, if the actual price has a large differential, as we see here, we're jumping $80,000 in price.
Yeah.
That's waving a flag. Something is happening here. I do agree. It's probably the size. Yep. Okay. So unfortunately, this drops us to less than 3 comps.
So do we hit update results? Or what am I hitting?
I literally don't know what this will do. So let's click it together.
Right.
Good time to rerun the current report. Show only those properties you selected. Properties you unchecked will not be shown in the report. Oh, that's fun. Okay. And let's refine our search, which is going to nix that anyway. Okay. I think what we're going to do is we're going to reach out. What do we want to cut? I don't think we want to cut HOA. Could reach out in year a little bit. Not garage. Yard size I'd be okay with. Let's blow the cap off the yard size. See, that gives us some options. No. Okay, let's put that back in. What if we blow the floor off our yard size?
We get rid of things now.
Did update results lock it? Okay, here's my real question. We're gonna remove,
Is there a thing about the square footage? That's usually one of my first ones I do.
okay, yeah, let me give you my electron square footage. It's okay, it's okay. I think it's one of the weaker, but it's not. Everything on there is useful in one way or another. Okay, square footage, there are, I'm not gonna give I don't know the answer. There's the 800 square foot house and everything kind of around there. There is the 1200 square foot house, everything around that amount. And then the if you are looking at single family houses, the next breaking point is at about 2000. I've heard a good argument that the next breaking point is at about 2200. I've heard good arguments for both of those numbers. And then after we get to about 3000, we have now moved into huge houses. And so the problem here is like an 800 square foot, we're looking at like a cottage or a bungalow. 1200, we're looking at like starter 2 bedrooms, sometimes 3 bedrooms will squeeze in 1200. A lot of condos are going to be 1200. 2200 is what a person thinks of when they think of a house. And then 3000 plus is kind of the thing is there are some that are like, there's a bunch of ramblers that are built in the 50s, they're in the 3000s. That just look like a house. And so they are kind of competing here, but the newer stuff, definitely not. And then when we're getting up into like the absolute break point is probably around 3,500, where everything is now pretty much just competing with everything else. The reason I didn't want to, this because this gets weird. It's like, okay, so my house has 1,900 square feet. What does that mean? What does it look like? So if you want to use this rule, I would do plus or minus 500 square feet. But if you move past one of these breakpoints, just be careful. Like if you look at a house, you're like, that doesn't seem comparable to the subject, trust your instinct on that. And so I'm hesitant to do this, but it's there. It's a tool and it's there to be used. If that made sense, then I didn't explain it well. Square footage is rough.
It's like, it could put you up into the other category,
Yeah.
or you're missing a lot in your same category, only going 500 plus.
Yeah, and I mean, I use square footage sometimes. I can't pretend I don't.
Then
Yeah.
that's the way you could narrow it down.
So like if you put in all your other criteria and you're still looking at a large number here,
20 or 30.
then yeah, let's look at square footage, I guess is how I'd put it. I would start at like 200 because you're not likely to run in trouble there.
Okay.
And then if you go out to 500, I don't know.
For instance, my house is 2,700 square feet, but it still seems like just a house, so it'd be competing with the 2,200 and not the 3,000.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
But yeah, if I
Um,
have I would get yours if I didn't get the square footage.
Although
Right, if you did
we're in a
50
case
plus-
where we need to
Plus 500,
loosen.
mine wouldn't be competing with yours because the 3,200.
Let's, I don't mind if there's a fourth bed. Actually, let's let any number, starting with 2. I gave us one more. Let's go take a look. Yeah, with 4 to 5 beds, we're we kind of locked
Also
in.
like two garage, it has to be 2 garages, like.
Who did we open up? We grabbed this 4 staff.
Specific criteria that he put in, like 2 garages.
Okay, tell me how you guys feel about this one. What stands out to you?
Well, it was only on for 9 days, so that's good.
Excellent observation.
It
Good
went
work.
For above
Just
list
above.
price, just above, but pretty much right at,
With concessions, but yeah, you're right.
with concessions. Which means there's probably multiple people interested in it.
Sorry,
and they
is this the
could pick-
bed?
This is a
4
5 bed, 4 bath.
Oh, it is the fun.
5 bed, 4 bath, okay.
Yeah. I don't hate this
Yeah,
as a
I-
comp.
Built in 06, what years is that? Or you did
03,
years,
this
okay.
is 03.
Looks like really good condition.
Yeah, that's probably why it's so quick.
I don't hate this as a comp. So for today's purposes, we're gonna run with it.
Would you say that's a B plus or B minus?
I would give it a C plus, I think.
Really, not even a B.
Maybe, let's look again in a second.
Okay, so you're gonna use all of
Okay.
these for your thing?
No, I'm just lazy,
Oh,
or whatever the opposite of lazy is, dumb.
no,
Oh, this is a split level and we kept it. Whatever, okay. Split level is gonna bring the price down, which actually makes me feel better about using the other one as a comp. This is a, no, it's a short sale. Ah, that's a shame. That might actually be a good comp. This one I like as a comp. There's a two-story, subject's a two-story. Where's the garage? We know you have one.
yeah, it's.
Oh, I know these. I sold like 2 doors down from here. Heaven's sakes, Kevin. Okay,
I'm still
Uh,
all of them.
okay.
Our first house was one, but it had a huge yard, so our driveway was long, but I loved it.
You know, my immediate across the streets have that like that. And there's 2 houses backing into that lane. And so nobody parks inside their driveways. They all park in front of their houses, which means that my
Well,
house is
yours-
here
Yeah.
and car. I
it.
cannot express how excellent I am at now backing up my van.
Yeah, that is frustrating.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to search results, right? Where'd you go, search results? Am I crazy? Okay. We're gonna open a new document, right? No, we're just gonna do new tab. I want to show you a cheat code. No, I want to do the pricing first.
Okay, you got 8 minutes.
I know. Okay. Sorry, I'm doing my best for you. Okay. So what we're going to do here is this subject, as you'll be able to tell, goes much deeper than the treatment I'm about to give it. But basically, we see here we've got 480, but it's split level, so subject is probably above this. This actually seems like a good comp for the subject. So this is at 485. Subject beats it in age for sure. Oh, a rule that I found is weirdly good when you're learning about adjustments, which is well beyond the scope of this class at this point. $1,000 per year is a shockingly good way to do adjustment for age. That's going to change as the market changes, but right now I found that's pretty good. Okay, this one's seller financing, so subject is probably going to lose out to this slightly unless we're doing seller financing, which I'm assuming we're not. So I think we're in the 485 range. So that was very instincty, and that's okay. Because what we're going to do next is we're going to say, okay, in our imagination, we're going to pretend the subject is launching at 485, and now we're going to do a competition report. So here we only really want active, and then we only want Eagle Mount. Ooh! I tried to do a thing. I made it full screen.
Now we can look for active.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So we're doing a full search. I always start my searches by clearing the criteria. Go to active, and then we want, is that what I did? Okay. We want Eagle Mountain. Although we know that the subject is close to Saratoga Springs, although, yeah, let's actually hold on. I'm not being honest. I usually just do Utah County, and I use my smart brain. Okay. And then the only other thing we're concerned about is the price. And so if we launch at 485, who are we in direct competition with on price, right? Because like they're looking at this price range, they're going to see the other things we're up against. 63 is too many. So we're going to do city, Eagle Mountain, Saratoga Springs, Lehi. And then we'll have a look here. Okay, so we're going to go, who is our direct price competitor? And we're right here, 485. If we launch, we're launching at the same price as this house. And the question I ask myself is, if I am a buyer, am I more interested in this house or the subject, and why? Subject has 1 more bedroom. Subject is smaller. Subject is much older.
Is your basement finished? Is subject Basement finish?
Great question.
No basement, slab.
Oh, no basement, okay.
Okay, that's true. We have the cellar right here, so.
Basement, but
Um,
they're still, look at it.
I think we probably, well, I don't, the
But
bedroom is
basement
killer.
Finished, so it only has 1,200 square feet finished.
If the sellers, or if the buyer's okay with 3 bedrooms, this one is a very clear winner, which makes me nervous. So I do think we probably lose to this one, but let's have a look, because we do have another bedroom over them. Is this weird to have this said about your own house?
Nope.
Okay, good. This is not really a competitor. They have an HOA. Size is comparable. They're much, much younger. Okay. So I'm getting nervous. I don't think 485 is correct.
I would think it's.
This one we're smaller. We're newer. Wait, are we smaller?
Smaller.
Yeah, we're slightly smaller. Like one bedroom's worth of space smaller. They have a full bath over one of our halves. We are a little bit younger. Their lot looks pretty big. No, lot same size. This one seems competitive. I think we're in competition with this one for sure. Oh, you know what I
This
didn't-
one faces a park.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, we're in trouble.
I know.
Okay. So that tells me if we go to market at 485, we are probably waiting for all of those to sell.
I would never live in that house.
The one that we just showed.
Ever.
What's wrong with it?
The park.
Oh, you don't like the park?
The middle schoolers have started a fighting ring in that park every night. They have kids go to that night, to that park every single night.
Oh, my gosh.
Some kids have been left unconscious, bloody on the ground.
Oh, wow. So maybe it's actually a
And they
demerit.
try and pull the younger kids into them too.
So,
That's probably why they're selling. That park was supposed to be awesome, and then the middle schoolers have turned it into a gang bust.
That has to be, yeah, that's a townhouse.
yeah. But the thing is, they're gonna see it when
That's
they're in their
true, but
search.
still might-
Yeah. The other thing I want you to pay attention to is days on market. All of these were pretty fresh on the market. But if median days on market right now is in the 20s, so this guy, for example, has been up for 73 days. So unless they've changed their price recently, they're not an actual competitor because they are dying. But they did change their price. No, they didn't. Okay, so this is not actually a competitor because this one is already dying.
Doesn't it make you want to know why it's sitting there?
And there's
so
no
long?
lawn.
The lawn isn't done, but that still wouldn't drive all the buyers away.
Anyway,
It's a brand new, it's a
you see what we're doing here though, right? This is even more artsy fartsy than what we were doing with the solds. Because literally it's just we're looking through and saying, if I were a buyer, which one of these am I buying? Oh, wait. No, okay, it's not the one I thought.
Like, I'm confused why that one's is still sitting when the other ones were sold selling. fast.
There's an answer to that, but it's complicated. I actually know this complex and they're doing a rate buy down thing, which I think, anyway.
Oh,
They're really hoping realtors will bring buyers there. They're not hoping for MLS marketing to work. So if we come down to, if we drop it by like 5,000, we look at the 581. New construction is not true competition because it's not ready right now. In fact, let's get rid of it. So if you go down here, we're going to do built and standing. We're not doing to be built or under construction because those are not true competitors. Lehigh, I don't love using as a reference point, but we easily destroy that place. Where are we? This one seems pretty far south.
I was gonna say, that's on the edge of.
Yeah. I think we beat this one.
you think we beat it?
That is Sandstorm Alley.
I think location wise we beat it. It's bigger, it's much younger. They do have an HOA. I think we beat it, but I do think I'm feeling like the price is around here. We're somewhere in the 480, 485 range.
So an interesting thing about people in Eagle Mountain is that they don't want to go over the path into city center. If they're fine
Right.
living anywhere, they'll go to city center. If that's too far, if that's there, and that's what happened to us,
Yeah.
is that I'm just like, I will not go over this pass. I don't care if it's a 5-minute difference, I won't go over the pass. And that's
So
next
Which
to
I feel like
everything in city center.
used to have it, see a huge price difference in like Ranches, Eagle Mountain and City Center. So since the high school and all the businesses, I haven't noticed as big a price difference. Yeah, have you been doing it?
between ranches and city center,
Yeah. It's
I
like-
haven't been watching that closely.
It's like 10 grand, like it was a big difference.
Yeah.
But since high school opened and more businesses have came out there, the price difference, I agree. A lot of people just cut it out of their search, but the prices aren't as affected as much as they used to be. Because it used to
So
be like
we are pretty much at time. This was a whirlwind of stuff, and I acknowledge that.
No, it's fast.
Is
it's
there,
great.
are there any questions I
Yeah,
can
let's go.
address?
Yeah, I want your prices for the rooms, for the things.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Tell me what they are.
So here's the way to do it, because unfortunately I don't have that answer. And the way to do it is more complicated than you want it to be.
Unfortunately, it's not as simple.
I'm gonna give you the zoomed out way to do it there. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the tools you need to answer this question. If we are talking about, for example, your property, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna go to stats and we're gonna go, I don't love doing it this way, but I can't think of a better way to do it. You're gonna see why nobody answers this question in a second. Okay, we're gonna sales per month report, and we're gonna go to city, and we're gonna type in Eagle Mountain. What this is gonna do is this is gonna tell us every sale in Eagle Mountain. We will go back, we don't need to go back far. I don't like data that's more than like 2 years old. So we'll go back to 2023. And it's not what is a bedroom worth, it's what is the second bedroom worth, what is the fourth bedroom worth, because the first bedroom is worth infinitely more than the seventh, if that makes sense. And so what we're going to check is what would a fifth bedroom be like if you added it to your property. Let's do it that way. So we're going to go, okay, in Eagle Mountain over the last 2 years, what has a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house sold for? And for our purposes, that is all the information we need. We hopefully will have enough data that we can. Also, there's probably a better way to do exactly what I'm doing. And if one of you just, I'm so sorry.
View results?
Yeah, so we put in Eagle Mountain, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, view results. Okay, now what we have is every month since June of 2023, how many houses sold in that month? This volume, you don't actually, maybe I like that better. No, median sold is better. Okay, so here we can see that the median sold rate was 519, 502, 487. You with me so far?
Hold on.
Yeah,
Give me a
you're good.
second.
You're good.
I hit clear and it didn't clear any. So I'm just.
Okay, let's go back.
this-
Because something I didn't tell you to do, make sure you change go back to year to 2023. The MLS tries to go back farther, and the MLS has the slowest like data calls that I've ever seen in my life. They send it by pigeon. Nailed it. Funny joke. So city. Good.
Okay, now
Okay.
we look the same.
Okay. So here's where this gets annoying. I'm going to quickly tell you what each of these columns means. Month it was sold, how many houses were sold in your parameters during that month. The total price of those houses added together is the volume. The median original list price is what the first time it came on the market, what price was it listed at? The median sold price is, well, we're all good with median, right? You put them in a list, pick the middle one. Okay. The median sold price, when this is a funny number, it's probably because there was, oh no, it's 17. That's just a funny number. When there's an even number, this will be the split between the two middle ones. This is a very funny median sold price. Median sold to original list, never look at this number, I beg you. This is not how you calculate the median concession rate. This number is fictional garbage. All right, median square foot is what it sounds for. Median price per square foot, I'm suspicious of this number, and there's a better way to get a more accurate one. Beds, baths, and then median days on market. We all good with what those columns all mean?
Cool.
So what we do is we take this and we are going to Export it as Microsoft Excel, sure.
All right, you just wait.
I'm so sorry.
Right there.
You
Oh,
got it.
it's only going to get worse. But we're going to export this report as a Microsoft Excel
Should be
spreadsheet.
there.
Got it?
Okay.
Okay. And then that should have downloaded it for you. Now we're going to go back. We now know what 4 bedrooms sells for. So now we want to see what 5 bedrooms sells for. You with me? Okay. And then we're going to do it again. We're going to export our spreadsheet. Because we can see, I didn't look at the math. Our median sold price here was 519 before. And here it's 549. I didn't look at the most recent data. Don't look at the current month because the feedback, it's only 2 sales. And frankly, none of these numbers are high enough to be a good sample size, but all of them taken together are, if that makes sense. If your sample size is less than 3 digits, I don't think you have enough data to make a definitive statement. But all of these added together, we're gonna, actually, maybe. But I mean, we have the data we have. So we export this, and we can see that of these 13 that sold in May, the median sale price was 589 or 590, really. You with me on that? And then go back to the manual. Because then what you can do is you take the data in the spreadsheet, plug it together, teach the spreadsheet to weight them. And then that'll give you like, okay, over to the course, it was this difference in percentage and this difference in dollars. The quick and dirty way that I would not hang my hat on. I've done it a couple times. I find it cumbersome and annoying. I wanted to make a master list, but then every time I'm doing that, I'm like, what if instead of that, I do anything else? So if we take the May data, 43 sales, nice. 554, and the other one was 590. So we are actually seeing a significant difference in median sale price across those. That's interesting.
35K.
Yeah, 30 to 40. Yeah. So I would put it in the spreadsheet and I'd make sure that trend holds. But we can already see from the 43 sales versus what was it, like 12 in the other one? It's not the best sample size in the world, but this implies that the 5th bedroom is worth $30,000. Do you see why? Okay. Then what we do is next time you're doing a CMA, I would still plug in the spreadsheet and get like a weighted report, because this number is extremely important, and I don't want it to be ignored, right? Especially if it's a low number, that's a red flag. So then next time we're doing CMA in Eagle Mountain, we're like, oh, actually, maybe these aren't really in competition. There's clearly a buyer profile that massively prefers the 5 bedroom because that is a major price difference. That's like 7-ish% price difference. That's huge. I wouldn't install a 5th bedroom based just on this report, but it would make me look into it, to be honest.
Especially if you think, oh yeah.
Right. Does that make sense? And then you do that, you open your little real estate Bible and you go, okay, now I know that in Eagle Mountain, a 5th bedroom as of June of 2025 was worth roughly 7-ish%. I'm doing that math in my head. 7-ish% and $30,000 more. The nice thing about that is now so you have the superpower when you go to do a CMA. And if a seller comes to you and is like, hey, I am in a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house in Eagle Mountain. Should I install a 5th bedroom? You say, maybe. Does that make sense? Yeah, this is
You divide the 30,000 by the 590 or by the 550. Or is it?
for the 7%.
Yeah.
It would be 30,000 is X% of the, so it would be, the lower numbers divided by the higher. Yeah.
What was that? 550 or 555?
Yeah, we'll call it,
Oh, it's right there. 5.
yeah, 555.
To that definitive answer, I would probably list my house as 480.
Yeah, so what I here's the problem. If you stalk me on the MLS, you'll see that my crap sits on the market forever. Part of that is I pretty bad at saying no to sellers. And so I'll come in with a report like this and I'll be like, okay, this implies that we should be in the 480 to 485 range. And roughly 100% of the time, my seller will say, so let's just try like 583. I was like, well, dang it. And then because I'm this soft little panda bear, I'm like, well, we can try it. We can do a market taste test. I had therapy with Becca about this over the phone last week. Not you. Uh, but if you ever want to therapize me into being meaner to sell it. So part of that is just my inadequate dealing with sellers. And then I would always aim low because we're in a market right now where stuff is slumping. Like it's going fast or it's dying.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that real quick. Like, if you're wrong, you could be wrong too high or too low, but it's worse to be wrong too high than to be wrong too low.
So if I were going to a listing appointment with you after doing this, I would have put more work into it. But let's say that we got those results, then I would try to get you to list at 480. Because I want you to list at a price when we look at the competition, you are obviously the best choice. And it's a good question. I think it's a minor difference. That's actually an excellent question. Buyers tend to search in quartiles. And so when they're talking to their realtor, very few put in a minimum range, although the good realtors put in. Yeah. And so we'll, yeah, so the one buyer profile is they get their maximum and it's 486 or whatever. And so they'll put that at the top. You can't predict their behaviors, but more likely they are searching at one of these numbers as their top.
Even me, and you pull 500, say, well, let's search up 500, see if we can find something over 500.
Sure, yeah. And so if you're near a quartile, don't go above it, because if you're like, oh, this one's worth like 502 or whatever, you're literally cutting out a huge chunk of your potential buyer pool because they literally will not see it. When you're between a quartile, such as our 481, yeah, somebody is searching for 482 or whatever, but we can't predict that behavior. But here we have a little more room to play. Don't do, okay. The reason here is I, for 2 years, subscribed to the API access to MLS, which let me make a computer program that would ask the MLS questions and would answer it outside of this ecosystem. And I did a bunch of data reports, and one thing I checked was what's the difference between, it was 499 and 500. And overwhelmingly, the answer was if you list for 499, you are far more likely to sell for 499. And if you list for 500, you're far more likely to sell for 500. That is the only difference. It did not change time on market. It did not change, like these did not come up. That's not a thing. So I've shown with data, this doesn't work. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, so just go to 450 or whatever. The coming down $100 does not make you look cheaper. And frankly, your question is pretty good. When you're out shopping with buyers and they see one for 482 and 480, that doesn't register as a meaningful difference to them. 485 to 480 will, and I don't know how to explain that. Yeah. So nice to meet you.